Good evening, everybody. This is Jeff from Treasure Talk and Treasure Tales, welcoming you to another exciting Treasure Tales. It's 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday night, and we're going to have a really good show for you tonight. We're going to open it up when I bring my co-host, the Digging Canuck, on with a little bit of discussion about a recent happening, and we'll welcome everybody, and then we'll dive right into the show. We got a couple of really good guests for you tonight that to introduce to you all around the world. So you get to meet some good people tonight and find out about a couple of really great channels. So let's get on with this and let's bring in the Digging Canuck. Hello, Cheeky.
Hello, how are you tonight, Jeff?
I'm good. I'm good. Is
Good,
it
good.
chilly up there?
I'm sorry?
Are you chilly?
Yeah, I got my hoodie on today.
Well, it's supposed to get down to, I don't know, about 60 tonight. So
Oh,
it's going to be a little chillery tonight. But
yes, chilly by Florida standards. Yes.
yes, well, by my standards,
Well, yes.
and I got enough, fat on me. It shouldn't be a problem, but anyways, anyways, um, I think you tuned in yesterday. The current event is we did a show live from Myers Metal Detectors
hmm
yesterday with Debbie Smikowski,
hmm
the North American sales rep for Mine Lab.
Yes. hmm
And she had the latest prototype of the Mine Lab Manticore.
hmm
Now she did state, and I will give her this, that it is still a prototype. Yeah,
Yes.
they're introducing it. They're
hmm
not giving out any dates yet for
hmm
when it's going to be shipped. Is they
Yes.
really can't. I
hmm
understand that. Same thing happened with Deus. Same thing happened with Legend. It's in the field being tested. There are going to be some tweaks as people would want it to be. Of
hmm
course, in this society that we live in, I want it now. I got to have it now. I'm not willing to wait for anything.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
pretty much the societal norms at this point,
Yes.
I think.
Exactly. Exactly.
Um, so, there's going to be some pre-orders out there. And the one thing I think that Phil at Myers is doing that's pretty smart, he's not going to take anybody's money. You can't, give him money as a down payment to hold one
hmm
because he doesn't want the grief.
Yes.
Because you know how people are. If they put $10 down, I want it right now. You told me it was going to be out. No, nobody said anything about when it's going to be out.
Yes.
Hopefully by the end of the year is what they said, which means next year. So I think he's smart in doing that.
Oh, you took that as being next year.
Uh,
I took that
having
as being this year. Like I thought maybe
well,
for Christmas.
maybe very, very. I'd say
Oh.
if it happens for Christmas, I'll
Mm,
be extremely surprised.
okay.
We'll put it that way.
Okay.
Given what's happened with other detector launches,
Mhm.
there can always be snafus. I
Yes.
doubt very seriously if it happens for this Christmas. I just don't
Oh,
think it
okay.
will.
Okay.
It'd be nice if it did. If they
Mhm.
had the final version of it,
Yeah.
it'd be nice.
Mhm.
But one thing MindLab does not need is they don't need to rush to production and have all kinds of problems with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, so
Mhm.
let me ask you, and we always strive on this show to be as honest with our viewers as we possibly can.
Mhm.
And, we're beholding to no manufacturer
Mhm.
or anybody. So, we're going to tell it like it is, how we see it.
Mhm.
So, what was your opinion of the MindLab presentation yesterday? Because I know you were in the chat, you watched it live.
Yes. Um I I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that the Manticore will be everything that they're saying it's going to be. I mean, I was an Equinox 600 owner. I never had any problems with my Equinox 600. Never had leaks, but other people did, and it seemed like a lot of people had leaking issues. I really do hope, like I said, that it's going to be everything that they say it is. Now you know that there has to be a little bit of hyped up verbiage and bravado on the company. Mind Lab, then they have to do that, and I think every company does do that. But I figure if like maybe 75% of what they're saying, becomes the manticore that we get or people finally do get, I think that'll be okay. But I don't know. There's a lot of issues that they need to overcome from the 800 and the 600 that hopefully
Yeah.
they can, and maybe that's why they're taking their time with these prototypes. I got to say, when Debbie said that actually said that item was a prototype, kind of knocked me down a few pegs because I thought they were like almost almost bringing it into stores. But that kind of sent me back a little bit. And there were a couple other little things that I'm like, hey, I don't know. I'm hoping that it will be out soon. But like you said, it's probably going to be next year. It has to be next year.
That's kind of my thought, and um, it kind of gave me pause because there were a number of very direct questions. I personally asked her a number of very direct questions,
Hmm.
and
Yes.
they weren't pleasant questions.
Hmm.
And I told her right before the show that when I ask you some questions, you may not want to answer, but people want to know.
Yes, absolutely.
And I just kind of felt that they dodged the question, didn't get them answered. And
Yeah.
judging from the comments that I have seen from the viewers, they kind of felt the same way.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
don't think they addressed the leakage issue very
Hmm.
good
Hmm.
because they say that no, an Equinox never leaked at the charging port. Well, I have seen a couple videos from people that prove that it does, uh,
Hmm.
you know, and it's going to be the same charging port.
Hmm. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, there were some things that they took, and you can see very easily that they took them from, the Deus 2 and the Legend.
Oh, for
Case
sure.
in point is the cam locks. They changed their
Hmm.
cam locks because my lab's
Yes.
cam locks were always worthless.
Hmm.
They took the Deus cam locks, from what I can see. The arm cuff, it just looks like a Deus arm cuff to
Hmm.
me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it is beefed up. I have to say, it looks to me, and Phil said it seemed like it was beefed up, a little more robustly
Yes.
constructed.
Yes.
But the vibration in the handle comes from the Legend. The
Yeah.
flashlight comes from the Legend.
Yeah. Yeah.
They took the pitch mode that you can add to it from the Deus 2.
Yeah.
So, which is in my mind, that's a smart move from a manufacturer's point
Hmm.
because you look at your competition out there, what do
Yes.
people really like about it? And if
Yes.
you can do it, incorporate it.
Exactly.
To me, that's smart.
For sure. Yes.
But I think what's going to happen is they really got an uphill battle.
Yes. Yes. There, and even the people that were chatting yesterday, the comments that the responses that she was making, were kind of on one side, whereas the people in the chat were like, so and so has a video on that shows Gigmaster had a video or has a video that shows where it's leaking at the charging port.
Uh-huh.
But it seems like that stuff was dismissed. And like I said, I have nothing against Mind Lab. I hope that Manticore is like the bee's knees. I hope it's everything that they say it is, and I hope it's everything that people want in a Mind Lab. And all the best to Mind Lab. I hope it's a great success. But I think they need to get all those things resolved before it comes out.
Yeah, and it's going to have a lot of proof. And I agree with you. I hope nothing but the best for Mind Lab
Yes.
because if it is indeed everything that they say it is, the
Hmm.
consumer is the winner.
Absolutely.
And that's what we
Absolutely.
want, the consumer to be the winner.
Hmm.
But like we say, proof is going to be in the pudding with
Yeah.
this one. And I think they got a fairly uphill climb.
Yeah.
Especially when they get to some of these events, and they get some of the people that have had trouble with the
Hmm.
Equinox. I had
Yes.
four flood,
Yeah. Well,
and
she did say that she brought a bunch to as it was it detectable. She brought a bunch of mantic or prototypes to detectable. I really don't think that British people are soaking they're immersing their detectors in the ocean, getting salt water to leak into their detectors. I just don't think that's so.
No, not a lot. And,
Yeah, yeah,
somebody that's in the chat tonight that was at Detective All that did not see it is Andrew T.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
in Britain, it's mostly, and people over there maybe haven't had the trouble with the Equinox because if you don't take it in the water and submerge the unit, it's not going
exactly,
to leak, you know.
exactly,
So,
exactly.
but the coil ears, and there's a myriad of problems we've discussed to
Yeah,
death. So I hope that they get it together because
for
my lab
sure.
is a good company,
Hmm.
and I hope they have a great success.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's another detector that's just going to help people maybe find more treasure, different kinds of treasure. Why
Yep,
wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we all want there to be success? I mean,
yeah,
really.
yeah. And the more success, the more competition, the better.
Exactly.
Uh, you know,
Exactly.
but they need to have a pretty thick skin, as any manufacturer out there.
That was
No matter
evident.
what
Yes,
you're
that
making,
was.
if you're in the arena, you
Yeah.
better have a thick skin.
Yeah.
Because dealers out there, they got to carry everybody's.
Yes.
They
Mhm.
can't just carry yours. Yours may be superior to this brand, but
Mhm.
the thing that they got to understand is this: that not everybody's got the budget
Yeah.
for the high dollar.
Mhm.
The top of the
Yes.
line,
Mhm. Yeah.
and that's why there's tiered products.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
know,
And
that's
no, you know what? Nobody wants to see a manufacturing company fail. Nobody
yeah,
wants to see that because it's not good for detecting.
yeah. It's just not good for the hobby.
Exactly.
So, anyways, why don't we go ahead and say hello to these folks tonight so we can get going here?
Sure, they've been putting up with us
Yes,
already.
they have. They've been listening to us go blah, 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 blah. So anyway, Andrew T, how are you, my friend? I'm glad that you made it safe back from Detective All. And Mark Fiorella in the house. And let's see here. Gene P. Hello, Gene. Glad you're here. And James Arthur Fraser. Howdy, howdy. And tell Rosie we said hey. And there's a Facebook user, John David, the Plays in the Dirt, is in the house, and y'all get to meet him next week because next week it's the B-Fam and Sista show. Well, if you don't know what that means, it means all my brothers from another mother and my sister from another mister.
Mm.
So
There
if
you
you
go.
don't know who they are, tune in next week. We've talked about them and talked about them, and we're talking to one of them right now. So, anywho's, that'll be that show next week. And let's see, Maria Reese. Hello, Maria. How are you, my dear? Tracy's Treasures. Hey, Tracy. Uh, Good to see you tonight. Let's see, Ricky T. Ricky T. Yo, essay. That's nice, Ricky. Let's see. Keep track of me, Liz. Hope I
I
don't.
am. Dirty
Miss.
Paws is in the house.
See, she's quick. She's a lot more smart than I am. There's another Facebook user. I don't know who it is. Hello, glad you're here. Dirty Paws, you said. That's Mike and Trish. Tom Becker. Hello, Tom. And let's see who else.
Howard Day and Mike from Great Finds.
Cool. Dave Williams is in the house. And let's see. Ba-ba-bum.
Mark
Mark Watson.
Watrous.
Hey.
Yes.
Hi, Mark. How are you? I think we're getting there. I don't know. It keeps jumping and flickering.
Surfside Dan.
Hey, Dan. How are you? There's another Facebook user says hello, all. You know who I happened to see just the other day enter for the legend giveaway on Treasure Talk that we haven't seen for a while is Lawnmower Man.
Ah, that's right.
And he almost never missed a show on Treasure
That
Talk or
is,
Treasure
yeah.
Tale.
Yeah.
And he entered, so I hope that they're okay. I just have not seen him.
I haven't seen that name in a while.
No. So I think we reached the end of the chat. So why don't you, let's bring on our first guest. Why don't you do the honors?
Certainly, certainly. Our first guest I have had the pleasure of digging with many times. He is an accomplished metal detectorist. He does all sorts of other treasure hunting activities. He's a gardener. He even has a maple syrup bush. Everybody, welcome Darcy from Kep Valley Diggers.
Hey, Darcy.
Hello,
We can
everyone.
adjust it. There we go.
Hey, Darce.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Great
I
to
need
see
to
you.
find out what a maple syrup bush is. Is
I
that
hope
a
I
bush
used the
that grows
proper
real
terms.
high with maple syrup?
Yeah, pretty much a sugar bush, although it's more or less just a very small group of maples that the previous landowner planted. So it's not really much of a bush at all.
Well, it does. There is great maple syrup in there because I've had 2 jars of it. So
Well, when you said maple syrup bush, I figured, oh, that could be a bush. There'll be a little bitty jar. Those little bitty jars they use at, Cracker Barrel. That's where they got them.
I guess I could call it a grove.
you could, yes, yes,
That'd
you
be
could,
even better. That'd be even better. Yeah.
yes, yes.
So, Darcy, why don't you introduce yourself to the world and your channel and tell everybody a little bit about you?
I'm Darcy Laframboise with the Kep Valley Diggers. I live in I guess it's Kingston, but the village, or it was a former hamlet called Kepler, going back to the 1800s, or actually first settled in the late 1700s. But yeah, I detect, I do a bit of bottle digging when I can. Uh, yeah, gardening is also some scrapping on the side as well. Although I haven't done
Maple
any
syrup
videos on
bushing.
that yet.
Yeah. So, I know you don't detect alone. You have, you say Kep Valley Diggers. Tell us a little bit about your YouTube channel and all that kind of good stuff.
Oh, I've had the channel going for about 3 years now. I do a lot of, I guess I have been focusing mainly on one particular old park. It was considered hunted out, and well, I kind of proved that wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just keep improving with the Equinox. I swing the Equinox 800 exclusively, and yeah, I'll go over a spot, I'll revisit it when I get more experience, and I always end up finding more.
So, I don't know if you were able to catch the interview in the Mind Lab Manticore yesterday, or if you had a chance to watch the replay on it. What's your feeling on the Mind Lab Manticore?
Oh, it sounds like it's got some great promise. I mean, if they get the issues taken care of that they had with the Equinox 800, knock on wood, I haven't had any. This is the third season I've had it in the water, and no leakage issues, no coil ear issues, no arm cuff issues either. Although I usually treat it pretty. I mean, like I said, it's not robust like some of the other machines, so I treat it uh, that way. So be careful. Just be careful with it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Now, do you completely submerge the control unit?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I almost I was when I did see Gigmaster's thing about the cracks in the charge port, and I just thought about something. I know one thing was mentioned about not overcharging. So if you left it plugged in charging long for many hours after it finished charging, I'm wondering, does that heat up, and maybe are those cracks being caused by an overheating issue in the charging port? Because if the heat was getting up, it would cause the plastic to become less stable and prone to crack. That's just a thought. I don't know if that's the case or if anybody's looked into that.
Well, I think what the deal was, I had 4 of them flood on me. But I think with that detector and any of the detectors I know, that once you plug it in and it reaches its full charge, it reads full charge, and then it just goes and it trickles to keep it charged full.
Right.
So I hadn't really noticed any excessive heat at all with mine. I just think that when you take a detector and you're in the salt water, specifically, I'm in the salt water. You guys may be in just fresh water, so it may not be as salt water is brutal on everything. I must say.
Yes.
It's tough.
It it is it's an issue, but if you look on this same side of things, other detectors that people are using submerged in the same ways hadn't had the problem. So I think that was just a problem that they had. I really hope that they get those issues addressed, but that the proof will be in the pudding. So,
Definitely.
Yeah.
I've always
As far as
said
the
my lab is a
Manticore
great
goes,
detector.
I'm probably waiting a while. It's definitely not in the price. I was disappointed with the price point on it. I mean, I think it's made to replace the CTX and I can't remember the name of the other Mine Lab one that was it was supposed to be a combination of those two. So I guess in that case the price point is down, like from a CTX, which is over $3,000. And
Well,
I think
yeah, it's a combo of some of the CTX features, some of the E-Track features.
That's right. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, the E-Track. I had an E-Track, a great machine, although heavy. CTX, heavy, very heavy.
Yes.
Now, I don't think it's going to
I've heard a lot of good things about
CTX, but we'll see. We will see what we will see on that.
Yes. Now, Darcy, a lot of your videos lately, you're detecting at night. Is that a preference of you? Because maybe it's been hot, or is this just something about detecting at night?
It's more or less. So me and my wife share one vehicle, so it's kind of circumstantial. I work at home. She works in town, so usually the only time I can get the vehicle is the evening is my open times. So
Yeah, well,
although
I
have done some daytime stuff when I can.
It can't be the heat because it doesn't get hot in Canada. I'm telling you. It may get warm, but
Here's the thing about nighttime detecting. It's pretty much not doable in the summertime. That with a headlamp, the bugs fly around the light, and it's just you just can't do it. It's they literally drive you buggy.
That is
so
for
I
sure.
pretty much last year I pretty much stopped. I stopped night detecting pretty much just before the first day of summer, and then I started back in September. I really didn't do much detecting this summer at all. My knee at the beginning of August was just horrible, and it's finally just starting to recover. So I've been getting out more, and I think just the exercise of that has been helping it too. But August was pretty much a write-off.
Now you also do a lot of bottle digging and privy digging. How does one find a privy in Canada?
Well, the privies. Usually you're looking at an old homestead, and generally you're looking downwind of where the prevailing winds are in your area, because you wanted that downwind of the house, and downhill, usually downhill from if you can find where the well was, that'll usually point you in the direction is where the privy was. You hope anyway. that they made sure the privy was downhill from the well. But I think I've only managed to dig one spot with privies so far. It was sort of the opportunity presented itself, and I was able to take advantage of finding 3 different privy spots on one old farm location.
Cool.
But there's one creek, one particular creek where it's behind the main street of an old village, and I've managed to. It changes with the seasons. You get high flows in the springtime, and it uncovers stuff. There's a lot of sand and silt and woody debris and such. So things appear and disappear with the sand, the way it moves. So you kind of go. I discovered just this past spring that when the flows were high, it created deeper holes. So I was able to find stuff I hadn't seen before. So now I need to get out there because they're letting water out of the dam, and so there should be some higher flows and maybe some more opportunities for finding bottles.
Right on. You also find insulators. You mentioned that in your YouTube bio.
Yeah, that's something that was my main hobby, probably starting in about 2000, and it sort of took more of a back seat when I started metal detecting. But I used to go walk the old abandoned railway lines, railway trails, and such. And yeah, you just look for. You have to start out with finding a pole location, and then there's usually evidence of like a pole stump or anchors for the pole, and then you figure out what the pace is, how many paces between pole sites, and then you just walk that and walk the paces, and then go look and see if you can find the pole site. Metal detecting also helps in some of the old. If there's no trace of the line, you can usually use a metal detector, and there's always bits of metal around where the pole site was. So that definitely helps.
All right.
Very good.
Yeah,
so
that's pretty cool.
Metal detectorist, bottle digger, have you done any magnet fishing?
Magnet fishing?
Yeah.
I have tried that. Actually, the first time I magnet fished, I found a magnet. It was one of those fishing magnets that people use for, I guess if you lose tackle, you can use it. I think you buy them in like the sports section of like a hardware store. But yeah, it came up with rope. I think it was off this dock where it was in about 35, 40 feet of water. And yeah, I just tossed it out. And all I was using was just a floor sweep magnet. I just had a rope and tied it around, took the handle off it, tied a rope around it, and was just using it as a magnet. But no, I haven't really done too much of that. I'm not really. It doesn't really interest me. I tried it a few times and wasn't really into that too much. So.
I know somebody else has got a magnet that's never used it.
Wonder who that could be.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
One of these days. One of these days.
Wait till winter time. Everything's frozen over.
I would say most of the areas around here are pretty clean, so you're not going to find too many good spots for magnet fishing.
Well, yeah. So then let's go back to your metal detecting. What is now the place that you're digging with now? You said, or in some of your videos, you said that it was supposedly hunted out, but my goodness, you're finding good stuff, like really good stuff, like hunted out. Somebody made a big mistake when they said it was hunted out.
Well, see, it was mainly hunted by pre-equinox machines. So it's getting to the point now where pretty much every good thing I find has a nail with it. I'm finding that yeah, there's good stuff, but it's amazing what masking can do with other trash. And if you're really listening intently, generally I've it keeps evolving my strategy, and it's gotten to the point where I just all metal used to be so noisy to me, but now I listen to so much noise, but my brain has just been trained to listen for that very, very subtle thing that sticks out, and I can usually pick out if there's something like essentially a nail right on top of something.
So you're not a
It'll
numbers guy. You're more of a tone person.
I will listen to tones, but I'll also look at the number, especially when I'll use a custom a user profile in four. I utilize 4 kilohertz a lot. I put that in a custom program, and I use that to verify a target. So you'll have like a low 20s where it's popping around 20, 21, but oftentimes you'll get like a bolt or a screw, which will go in that area. And switching to 4 kilohertz, immediately, if it's all iron sounding and in the negatives, you know it's a bolt or a screw. But if you get into those high 20s, or even if there's a hint of a high 20 in there, and just the way the numbers are coming up, it usually means there's something hidden in there.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, sounds like Darcy has that Equinox figured out.
Yep. Yep.
Well,
And like you
when
say,
you're
never
hunting
heard of it.
spots where there's such where there's really you're grasping at straws, you get really good. when you're I guess I should say when you're hungry, you really get good at listening to those,
Look, it sounds like you better take the Deus 2 over there for a hunt, huh?
I don't think there's going to be anything there.
So
really, the eventually with the manticore and such, there. I mean, just it would be amazing with the recovery. Mind you, I was at a spot yesterday that I had been. It's a little further away, but when I'm working away, I usually stop there each time, and I come with armed with different with more knowledge and techniques, and again I pull more stuff out because I'm using something different. So yeah, it's always good to evolve and try new things and just keep pushing.
Yeah, very good. So what's on the horizon for Kep Valley Diggers?
What's on the horizon?
Yep.
Hopefully get some more. I've get out on some more permissions. I've got some. I have a couple. I have a permission in my neighborhood, that I can just walk to, which is nice, just up the road. Where I live is a pretty old area. It was settled in the early 1800s, so there's some pretty old houses nearby. There's another one. My farm permission. I detected there, and I was invited to a party there as well, and I met someone else, and they have a property, so I have to go ahead to do some detecting there too. So.
Well, that'd be great. That's especially when you live in an old neighborhood with a lot of old houses.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's also, I guess, usually my videos are about 2 months ahead of what they're usually, whenever I do a hunt, it's usually 2 months down the road when that way I can get through winter time with plenty of videos.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There will be one. There will be one. Recently, I got my oldest relic ever, and it beat the other one by a few thousand years.
Oh, stay tuned for that.
So, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. So
it was actually a bucket lister. It was a very intriguing thing to me,
Right
and
on.
yeah, definitely something I was excited about.
Cool. So the name of your YouTube channel is Kep Valley Diggers.
Yeah.
They can access that. If you would like to post your YouTube link in on Treasure Talk page, that would be wonderful. We'd like to have that so everybody can find you. And we wish you nothing but the best, Darcy. And I hope you find a lot more bucket listers. And
Oh, thank you.
thanks for stopping by tonight and introducing yourself to everybody. You've got a very exciting YouTube channel. You do very, very exciting things, and you're very knowledgeable. And I know everybody's going to want to tune in and subscribe and watch your videos. So thanks much for joining us tonight. And
Thank you so much for having me, Jeff and
you're,
Liz.
you're quite welcome. So be healthy, happy
Yes.
hunting,
And
dig deeper.
Take care,
hello,
Darcy.
everyone, and thanks for checking out the stream tonight.
Right on.
Thanks,
Good
Darcy.
stuff.
Good fella, good fella, good fella.
Very, very metal detector smart. See,
Yeah.
very knowledgeable.
Yeah, he seems like he'd be fun to hunt with.
Yes.
You know how some
Yes.
people are fun to hunt with, and some people you can be a dear friend, but they're not fun to hunt with, so you never want to go hunting with them again. You know. But now our next guest, this guy is cool. I come across his channel one day. I was surfing, and I saw this, and I said, "Dang, that's all right." And I think you've watched some of their videos.
Yes.
And very interesting. You've heard about making a silk purse out of a sow's ear, or you may not have up there in Canada, but down here, we've heard about that. But he can do that, and he does it on a regular basis. So let's bring on Brian, Creekgeek. Hey, Brian.
How you guys doing?
Brian.
We're doing good. We're doing very good. Okay, everybody wants to know right off the bat how you got your name, Creekgeek.
Well, I first started messing around with YouTube maybe about 2 years ago, and I actually started with the name as One Nation Exploration was my original name.
Oh.
The more I thought about it, it's kind of a mouthful, and it didn't really fit me that great. And what I noticed is I find myself walking creeks a lot and doing a lot of creek detecting, and Creekgeek just really fit the bill for me. So it's stuck ever since.
Well, yeah, I mean, you hunt a lot of creeks too.
Absolutely. I mean, I have one in particular that I always find stuff in. I always find myself over there, but I do frequent a few other ones as well.
So you're using a detector in the creeks. Don't you also like bottle dig in the creeks and stuff?
I do also do some bottle digging and sifting as well.
Okay, that was something, I wanted to touch on. Have you ever done any sifting, Liz?
No, I've seen people do sifting. Does that count?
Well, no.
Okay.
I've never done any either. And I don't know that down here in Florida, if it would be worthwhile or not. But tell everybody where you're at, Brian, please.
Where am I at?
Yeah.
I'm based in Pennsylvania. Now, I'm originally from New Jersey, so sometimes I venture to New Jersey and hunt around there, but the majority of my stuff is in Pennsylvania.
Okay, cool. So what kind of stuff are you finding in the creeks? I mean, when you sift, what are you looking for? Gold?
Well, first and foremost, you really want to look at where you're sifting at. You don't want to just pick any random creek or any random body of water. You want to do your research first. So if there was an old home site in the area, or maybe a Native American village, something along those lines, there's definitely places that you want to sift at. And I find all kinds of stuff from marbles to arrowheads and other Native American artifacts and stuff in the creek.
Now, what tribes basically would have been in that area?
In this area, I believe it's the Lenape is the main one, but there's also the Susquehannock and I believe Iroquois was out here as well. So there's a couple different tribes in this area.
Okay, they were the predominant tribes. I bet you find all kinds of stuff up there from the tribes. When
Yeah,
you're
there's a variety of things. Yeah, you can find.
when you're bottle digging, do you turn up arrowheads and that kind of stuff as well?
I haven't yet. No, usually when I find native stuff, I'm actually looking for native stuff. I haven't actually stumbled across anything by accident yet. Usually with bottle digging, I typically just find bottles and maybe a few artifacts, metal detecting.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it sounds like your research is really, really important to where you spend your time.
Absolutely. Now,
Yeah.
I mean, I like old books. That's one thing I use, but there's also a few websites you can use, like Historic Mapworks. There was one too, Historic Aerials, but I think they monetize that one, so I think you have to pay for that now. And also, LiDAR is helpful if you have something with LiDAR that can point out old foundations and stuff like that. That also helps. Old books are my favorite, though.
Now, do you research the area, or perhaps you were reading something in a book? It doesn't sound like there's any randomness to your plans. Like you seem very serious about your research.
Absolutely. I mean, I do a little bit of both. I mean, sometimes sometimes you can see stuff on Google Maps. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard of a Native American fish weir. Have you ever heard of that before?
Yes.
You can actually see them. You can actually see them on some maps. If you look real close and zoom in, sometimes you can actually see them on bodies of water. And that right there is an indicator that there's some Native American activity in that area, and to look close to there. I'm giving some inside information, so you guys take notes.
What was that you just said? I must have missed that. A fish?
An ancient Native American fish weir.
Fish.
You ever hear of that before, Jeff?
No, I have not.
So basically what that was is they would stack rocks in a way that it would form a V, and it would force the fish to swim along those rocks until they met the end of that V at that point, and then the Native Americans would rush in and then net them. And that's basically what a fish weir is. I mean, they make them today, but they do it with wood now. There's a different technique they use, but back in the day, they would just use rocks. But you can see them in some maps.
Smart Indians.
Wow. I didn't know you can see them on like maps. Wow.
It's crazy to think that something thousands of years old is still there.
Yeah.
With all the storms and the currents and everything else, they still exist. So they must have really built them well.
Wow. So what are you able to identify your native artifacts yourself, or?
I do have a book that I use. I'm offhand, I can't think exactly what the name is of it, but there is a book, and there's also stuff online you can look to actually do the research. Now, there's a wide variety of things to look at, so it's kind of hard to determine. But I mean, they base it on areas of where you're at. Like there's the East Coast and then the Midwest and stuff like that. So it helps break it down to where it's a little easier to determine what they are.
Wow. So what? I was going to ask you what your oldest artifact is, but I don't know. Is that? Oh, I guess just old.
As far as I know, I think the oldest one I have could be up to 6,000 years old, based on what I looked up in my book.
Wow, fascinating. And do you have to are you really digging down to find these things, or not really?
I mean, you don't even always have to dig. I mean, sometimes I just walk and just look. Like if you can see, I mean, the one I'm talking about, the 6,000-year-old one, was maybe in about 4 to 5 inches of water in the river, just sitting there.
Wow.
Huh. Now,
yeah, wow. It's wild.
Have you found any? Another friend of ours lives up in northern Minnesota, and he finds the copper. I guess the copper points they call them.
Yeah, I believe now. As far as my understanding concerned, that's called a transitional period. So it's a period of time when I guess you could say the white man was introduced in the area, and they got a hold of metal. And they started making their points out of metal because it was more efficient than using rock. I have yet to find any like that, but I hear, it's a pretty cool thing to find.
I guess they're finding them a lot. They do dig for a lot of them, but they're finding them in the lakes, and they're supposed to be thousands of years old. I guess from the Viking times or whatever. I don't know.
Wow.
So that's another interesting thing. It is interesting. All the once you really get into researching, like the tribes and everything, they were pretty dang smart.
Absolutely.
I mean, you figure up there, they're running around with a buffalo hide, in the wintertime when it's 30 below zero and snow up to the top of the trees. And, they're surviving. They're finding food and whatever. So they're pretty smart. And okay, let me ask you a question. Some of the tools that you find, and I'm sure if you're finding other artifacts, you're finding tools that they used, probably, right?
I mean, there's a few on my wish list that I haven't quite found yet, but I did find, quote unquote, I guess it's a hoe. They would use it to dig up clams and stuff in the river, and I've also found plenty of different blades and cutting devices. But I really, really, really want to find an axe.
Yeah.
That's the one I haven't quite found yet, but it's on my list.
Wow.
Yeah, like a hammer or something.
Basically, yeah, they're hammers and axes. They're pretty similar. But yeah, that one's on my list.
Yeah, that would be cool. That'd be cool to find.
Yeah, no kidding. So your time in being from where you're located, you're not all year in the creek, I would imagine, right?
Or actually, kind of, yeah. I always sometimes I'm out there breaking ice and walking around. It just really depends. I'm pretty hardcore. I'm actually, my job, I'm always outside in the weather, so I have all kinds of gear and hip waders and thermals and all kinds of stuff. I'm out as much as I can. Doesn't really matter the weather. I'll endure it. That's one of the things I pride myself in, is I'm very passionate about what I do, and I'm very persistent.
Yeah.
And I like thinking outside of the box, and I think that's why I'm somewhat successul.
Wow. Yeah. Well, you are the creek geek,
True. Very true.
Right. What detector are you swinging in the creek?
Well, I mean, I've been through a bajillion detectors, but being from South Jersey by the ocean, I got turned on the Mine Lab pretty early on, maybe 2008 or so, and I started with a Mine Lab Explorer 2, which actually I still have, but I'm currently swinging the 600, the Equinox 600. It's a little bit lighter, and the waterproof part helps. So.
Yeah, it's good. It's water resistant as it can be. Yeah. And the Explorers are a great detector.
I found so many good things with those. Yeah.
Oh, they're good. They were good detectors. The same thing with the E-Track. When I first got the E-Track, I went over places that I had just hammered to death, and that E-Track was a silver magnet. It was heavy, but it was a really, really top flight detector. And
they're tanks too, man. You can beat them things up, and they'll just keep keep going. Like I said, I mean, what did they come out in 2000 or something? And my Explorer 2 is still working great. I just had to buy a new battery for it though, fairly recently.
Well, I think you got your money's worth out of it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So, what kind of metal things are you finding worthwhile in the creeks around where you are?
Well, this one wasn't a creek find, but it wasn't far from a creek. The find of the year this year, I found an 1805 draped bust quarter, and I mean, I was absolutely in disbelief. I could not believe I even found that.
Wow.
Unfortunately, it was a permission, and the homeowner was there, and she took ownership of it. So I was a little heartbroken. But on the same token, if I was the homeowner, I would have probably kept it too. So I completely understand.
Hey, you know what? That might lead to further permissions as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So that's the find of the year. I also had a 1836 capped bust dime I found on another permission in a farm field. That was another find of the year. Wow. So they're out there. There's treasure to be found for sure.
Is there a coin that you haven't found but you would really like to find?
Yes, actually. There's three I can think of right offhand, right off the bat. The one is I really, really want a New Jersey copper. Being from New Jersey,
Oh,
that one's big on my list, and I know a few people that have multiples of them. I've yet to find one. Also, never found Spanish silver. That one's not on my list. I mean, I've yet to find that. And obviously, I mean, who doesn't want a flowing hair silver dollar? I mean, that one, that's huge. That's a big one.
I
Yeah,
hope you
that was
find
my top
them.
two.
I really do.
Yeah, well, I think next year is going to be your year. You'll find
I
all
hope
of them.
so. I really do.
Yeah, you will. You definitely will.
Right on.
So, how much time do you actually get to go out and hunt, be it creek geeking or metal detecting?
Well, I mean, I have a family. I have two small children. I work, believe it or not, like 60 hours a week. I work a lot. So if I get out once a week, it's kind of a miracle. It really is.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Have you done any magnet fishing?
I actually bought one a while ago, and I like tried it out once for a couple of minutes and kind of lost interest. And I've been meaning to try it out. I've actually talked with a couple other metal detectorists, and we kind of talked about maybe going out and doing it sometime, and it just has yet to happen. But it's definitely on the list. One of the things I want to try out, and I'm a little
Well,
nervous though. I don't know how many magnet fishing videos you've watched, but it seems like almost everyone you watch, somebody finds a gun.
well, that's yeah,
you,
you,
you might
yeah.
find one.
Right, right.
and you might just
Yeah.
just don't do a clickbait and go, police call, I found a gun. Give me a break,
Right.
That's clickbaity, and I think you're quite a bit classier than that.
I
So
appreciate that. Thank you.
you have a group that you hunt with, or you basically just solo?
I'm solo now. I was going out with Sean Keller and Berks County Metal Detecting for a while, which actually I want to give him a little bit of a shout out because I didn't know there was a metal detecting community like this out here, and I'm very grateful to be a part of it. And thanks to him, now I am. I honestly didn't know any of these people at first. So I mean, I used to hunt with him a lot, and we're kind of at ends a little bit, but I think we made up and we're good now. So
Well, that's good. That's
Right
good.
on.
I think we have talked to him. I forget we did some kind of a show where people were coming in and asking questions, and I think he was one of them.
Oh, he's in the chat right now.
is he?
Yeah.
What's up, John?
Yep, he's in the chat. So I think we probably need to get him on in the near future. So Sean, get up with me, dude, and we'll get
Yeah,
you
he's a
booked.
good guy. He gets out a lot and does a lot of hunting. He gets a lot of permissions. So definitely a good channel to check out, Berks County Metal Detecting.
Yep,
You'll
So-
see me on a couple of them too.
So Brian, like we're kind of like towards the end of the show, but you're approaching 500 subscribers on YouTube.
Seriously?
Seriously, that's pretty cool. That's
That
an
is pretty cool.
accomplishment. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
happy
that
with that.
yeah, I think everybody out there who's watching us needs to check out Creekgeek. Like we always say, watch a couple videos, and if you like what you see, then absolutely subscribe to his channel.
Yeah, please comment and give me some ideas of some stuff to post. I'm always open to new ideas. I have done a couple fishing videos. I know we're all about treasure and stuff, but to me, fishing is a treasure for me too. I also enjoy doing that.
You betcha it is. You betcha it is.
Mhm.
So I mean, there are a number of Creek Geeks out there. Yours is all one word, Creek Geek, right?
Right. I mean, when I started out at the butt, I was the worst one for a minute there, and then I somehow managed to become number one. So I'm trying to hold
There
that
you go.
position.
I think probably you're in for a couple hundred more subscribers here real quick.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
That's all right. And just so everybody knows, I will put the links to both of our guests' channel in the show notes. Make it easier for you to find them.
Yes, she's my technical wizardo because I am challenged in many ways, and that's just one of them.
That's all right. That's all right.
Liz, do you ever come down to the States to do any detecting?
Yes, I have not since the big CV. But yeah, borders are opening up, so I'm looking forward to going back, heading back. into the States
Awesome.
to do some
Awesome.
detecting.
If you're ever down to Pennsylvania, look me up.
Oh, for sure. You better believe it. I want to get in those creeks.
Get a little mud on the tires.
That's all right. That's all
Nothing
right.
wrong with that. Yeah.
That's all right.
I was going to ask you, in Pennsylvania, there should be a lot of old war stuff. You know, Civil War, War of 1812, all that in there. Colonial, do you find much of that?
Honestly, that's one area where I've yet to find much of anything. I don't know if it's just in the particular area I'm at, there wasn't a whole lot of war activity. If I venture an hour here, an hour there was some. I did find one really nice World War II piece where it looks like it was maybe a metal that somebody converted into a necklace at one point. Really nice. It has like the eagle wings and stuff. That was pretty neat. But besides that, yeah, I haven't even found a military button yet, which is driving me crazy. So I definitely have to get out and hit a couple battlefields or something.
Well, you know, like you said, you weren't really aware of, you know, the groups in your area. And now that you are aware of those groups, you make more contacts.
Yes.
Maybe
Absolutely.
get invited to other hunts in areas that you may end up finding a bunch of that stuff. So that's what, you know, the hobby is very, very good at, is the networking aspect of it. And the friendships that you make.
Speaking of which, there's an event coming up in Pennsylvania called Coming Out Swinging. I don't know if you heard about that one.
Oh yeah.
But that's coming up real soon. I'm going to be at that event as well. So
there you go.
Looking forward to that. Yeah.
Great networking opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Very much so. Very, very much so. Well, Brian, we want to thank you so much for coming to join us tonight and introducing yourself to the world and letting them know what a unique individual you are and how you go about things. And it's just been an absolute pleasure on our part. And we're glad.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be on the show. It really
Great
is.
to have you here. Really is.
So good luck, happy hunting, and dig deeper.
Thank you so much.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Wow, wonderful guest.
Really?
Again, super knowledgeable. Wow.
Yeah. And some of the stuff that he finds and stuff. I mean, you know, that's the one thing I love about doing this show is getting to meet these people.
Yes.
That.
Yes.
I mean, you know, you can surf all day long on YouTube, but when you see somebody, then you say, yeah, I definitely want to go and check out that channel, and you get some really good content.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know,
yes.
A lot of very accomplished people out there, I think.
Definitely. Definitely.
You know, so we'll get to his buddy from Berks County. Sean, get him on here. He'll get up with me. And maybe, you know, we'll get some more people up there that introduce them to the world. I think we both discussed this is what we like to do. You know, let people know that there's quality folks out there.
Yes, there's like-minded individuals, definitely.
Yes, indeedy. So what have you got coming up?
I am on Saturday again at 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to do some more coin roll hunting, going to do some quarters, going to do some dimes, and going to guarantee somebody is going to win silver on that stream. And then we have Thanksgiving in Canada on Monday.
Oh, that's right. But ours is not for a while yet.
We're a little early.
What's the big Thanksgiving meal in Canada? It's not poutine.
Oh, well, maybe in Quebec City it is. I'm really not sure. It's usually turkey.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, turkey and potatoes and stuffing and ham.
So you're gonna prepare all that stuff, or are you guys going out?
No, we'll be preparing something here at home.
Well, that'll be good. That'll be good. You know, maybe we ought to do a little live spot from the Canuck table. Go, hi folks, how are you? You know. You don't think that'll work?
I don't know if people want to see me eating food. I really don't know.
People want to see you doing anything.
Oh, okay.
So Monday night on Treasure Talk, Dillick.
You have a great giveaway, do you not?
Oh, yes. If you have not find the giveaway on here on YouTube and on Treasure Talk Facebook group. We're giving away a legend. Dilly called me the other morning, and she was in Australia with our friend Ed from Detect Ed, and she said, yes. She said, let's go ahead and let's give away a legend. I said, okay.
Absolutely.
So we are giving away a legend Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on Treasure Talk.
Now, the people need to check out your entry video and they need to leave a comment.
Yes.
So you have to do that. Otherwise, you don't get in on the giveaway.
Yeah. And if you're going to comment on YouTube, you have to be a member because I check. And if you're not a member, you're not going to win. And it's really easy to do for Treasure Talk YouTube. You just subscribe, you hit that button for all notifications, and then you send an email. And I will put the email right up here right now so you can see where to send it. There it is. You send that email to treasuretalkshow@gmail.com saying you've subscribed and ask for all notifications. I'll go and I'll check to be sure everything's good. I'll send you back an email saying thank you very much. And then enter with the phrase that I tell you, and you'll be eligible to win because I picked the name with a random name picker. And sometime during the show, and I don't know when during the show, I will call a name and you'll have 3 minutes to get up with us via messenger or text, and you may win a legend. We've given them away before.
Yes, Dealic is very generous.
And to a certain young man, that's a Canuck, eh?
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Yes. So, and then next Thursday night, it's going to be the B-Fam show and my sister from another mister. So if you've been watching Treasure Talk or Treasure Tales for any length of time, you know about the Mumbles Man, John David, and the Guru, Phil Myers. And then there's a certain sister from another mister that, cheesecake. That's going to be in the house. So it's going to be a fun time, and you'll get to meet these folks and have a good time. So should be good.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
So we are going to duck on out of here. Everybody, thanks for watching. We appreciate that. We had some good guests for you tonight. And also, if you want to be on Treasure Tales, as the sign says, scrolling across the bottom of the screen, you see what we do. It's not, it's like sitting in the living room, having a glass of wine and talking to your friends. And so you can get up with me at treasuretalkshow@gmail.com, or you can get up with Liz at
diggingcanuck@gmail.com.
Yep. Or you can text me at my phone number and we'll get you booked because I've got maybe 2 slots open the rest of the year. So we're filling them up fast. So get up with me and let's get you on Treasure Talk and introduce you in your YouTube channel if you have one to the world. So let's get out of here. You want it?
Alrighty. Yes. Good night to everybody. And remember, if you've not hit the like button on this stream, you got like a couple seconds. So do it.
That's right. That's right. So everybody, good night. Thanks for watching. Happy hunting and dig deeper.
Good night, everybody.